So in case you don't know, Gamescom 2025 just ended a couple of days ago. This is a convention in Germany where the biggest game companies in the world come together to talk about some of their new games that they're releasing, give out some demos for some of the games that they're working on, as well as announce some new games that are also in the works. So today, let's talk about what came out of Gamescom 2025, what I'm excited for, what I'm looking forward to, and a couple of things that maybe I'm not so as much excited for as I would want to be. But before we begin, if you like this type of content, make sure to hit that like button and consider subscribing to see more content like this. Now let's jump in. So starting with opening night live, which is like the beginning show that Jeff Keighley does to kick off Gamescom, we got quite a few new announcements as well as new trailers for games that have been announced before, but we saw gameplay for them. And to start off strong, I want to talk about Game Science, the guys behind Black Myth Wukong's newest game, Black Myth Zhong. Now, Black Myth Zhong is a brand new game from Game Science, and these are a developer that I absolutely love. Their first ever game, Black Myth Wukong, was a game that I touted as a gateway to Souls-like games. It's an incredibly difficult game. It's incredibly challenging, but at the same time, there's some certain features and systems that make it easier than other Souls-like games like Elden Ring, Dark Souls, things like that. This new game, Black Myth Zhong, is staying with the Chinese mythology roots, which I think is a great direction to go. Game Science is a Chinese developer, and so this is their bread and butter, staying with those Chinese mythology roots, which I love to see. I'm curious to see what gameplay changes are going to be made, and if they're going to lean further into like Souls-like elements, or are they going to keep it more of a healthy mix of, action, boss rush like there was in Black Myth Wukong, and Souls-like elements like Elden Ring and things like that. The other question I have is, are they going to be going bigger and better? Will it continue to be linear like Black Myth Wukong was? Even though some of Black Myth Wukong's levels were pretty open and expansive and had multiple branching paths, at the end of the day, the story was linear, and it only took place, linearly. Or are they going to go open world this time? Are they going to just completely open it up like Elden Ring and be like, go wherever you want, do whatever you want, and just get better, beat these bosses, and you'll beat the game? Overall, like I said, I'm extremely excited for this one. There's no release date in sight for this one. I mean, Black Myth Wukong came out last year in 2024, around this time in October. So to expect a new game from them so soon would kind of be foolish. I expect this one to be at the very earliest 2027, but I would not be surprised if we make it to 2028 and Black Myth Zhong is still not out. However, though, I am incredibly excited for it. I'm excited to see more gameplay if they decide to drop that soon. And yeah, just can't wait. The next game I want to talk about is from a franchise that I'm not too familiar with. However, I know that it is one of the biggest franchises of all time, especially in the horror genre. I'm talking about Resident Evil Requiem. We got a new story trailer for the folks behind Resident Evil Requiem, and it looks super exciting. The graphics look insane. The story looks really good and interesting and definitely scary, something that's not really up my alley. Like I said, I've never really played a Resident Evil game before, so I'm kind of curious to see what this one is like, what's different about it. I know that Resident Evil 7 went like first person, even though that this is typically a third person franchise, so I'm excited to see if they keep that third person narrative or go first person. I am low-key a baby and I hate horror, so I don't know if I've got it in me to review this one, but I am excited nonetheless to see all the reviews come out and see what people think of this game once it comes out in February of 2026. Now, the next game that I want to talk about is a game that was not really on my radar and on first glance looks almost like a Minecraft copy. But the more I watched the trailer, the more I got the idea that this is trying to be something that's much bigger than Minecraft, and that's Everwind. Now, Everwind looks almost exactly like a ripoff of Minecraft's art style, but it definitely takes it up a notch. The combat is much more involved, I would say, and it seems to be a much more combat focused game as opposed to building and crafting focused. I mean, we saw a lot of cool stuff go on in this game. We saw flying ships, cool structures and enemies, and definitely different ways to approach how to defeat an enemy. I mean, in Minecraft, it's the same. You just kind of hack until they die, whether that's a zombie, whether that's a skeleton, whether that's a spider. In this, the different enemies, first of all, looked really cool and looked really different. They also looked like they had different enough move sets to where you actually had to approach them and attack them different ways. I can tell that this game is never going to reach that level of relaxation you get when playing Minecraft, but it still looks cool nonetheless, and I'm excited to give it a chance when it does come out. This was a game that was not on my radar at all before Gamescom, and now is firmly placed in a category of games that I'm quite excited for. So whenever this game comes out, I'm not sure. It's dropping in early access though, I know, first before its full release. Whenever this game comes out, I'm excited to give it a try, and I'm excited to see what's going on with Everwind. All right, so the next game I want to talk about is a game that we obviously knew a lot about before, but it's Ghost of Yotei. We got a brand new look at some of the story elements as well as some new gameplay from Ghost of Yotei, and this game just doesn't really need any introduction. This is a game that I am incredibly excited for. The world looks fucking gorgeous. The gameplay looks fun, just like the first game, and the story looks really interesting as well. Ghost of Tsushima was one of the first ever PlayStation exclusives I played when I got my PlayStation 5, and I fell in love with it. I love Japan. I said that in my AC Shadows review. I love everything that it stands for. I love the combat in Ghost of Tsushima. I loved the story, and this looks like it just takes everything up a notch in the best ways possible. So I'm insanely excited for that. We also got a tease of Legends mode, which is like Ghost of Tsushima's multiplayer mode, to come out in 2026. That's something that's super cool. It's not something that I played a ton with Ghost of Tsushima, but I've heard really great things about, so I'm definitely going to give it a chance once it comes out in 2026. But Ghost of Yotei as a whole is coming out very soon here in 2025 with an October release date, I believe. So that is a game that I will be 100% reviewing and 100% be playing, and I'm super excited for it. But yeah, now a couple of rapid fire games for y'all, games that I'm incredibly excited for, just games that, you know, I'm not 100% gonna be like playing for a review. The first one is the Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 DLC, Legacy of the Forge. Now, to me, this actually does look insane. It's a new DLC where we see Henry take over a rundown forge and help bring it back to its former glory, and I really could not be more excited for this DLC. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 as a whole has a really special place in my heart, not just because of what the game is and what it means for me, but also because of what it did for my channel. It's my highest viewed video by a fair margin at like 61,000 views, and that's just something that like I really hold close to my heart, and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 did that for me, so I am insanely excited to see this DLC take place. I played the first DLC that Warhorse released called Brushes of Death, and to be honest with you, I didn't really love it. I really did think it was just a bunch of menial fetch quests, and it didn't really fit the bill of great storytelling that I know Warhorse is known for. This seems way more up my alley. I love being a blacksmith in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I said as much in my review, so I'm excited to get a whole DLC based around that, where we get to like upgrade our forge, make it better, decorate it, things like that. It almost is turning into like a city builder of sorts with the forge, and that's just something that's so cool and such a direction that Warhorse has taken with an RPG that like is just insane to me. It reminds me a lot of games like Fallout 4, Starfield, things like that, where you have those base building mechanics within the RPG itself, and this is doing it with taking it one step further, really, with this whole like blacksmith mini game essentially, and a whole story tied to it, also with like the base building basically. So yeah, super excited for this one. This one comes out September 9th, so just a few short weeks away. I am tempted to review this one. I'm definitely going to be giving it a shot, but let me know in the comments down below if you think that I should definitely do a review of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 Legacy of the Forge. Now, the last game I want to talk about as a game that I enjoyed seeing a lot and I'm super excited for is Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight. Now, this, in my opinion, was one of the coolest announcements from the night. It looks like a culmination of multiple Batman stories from the movies to the comics. I mean, without a doubt, Batman is my favorite superhero. I played all the Arkham games and I love every single one of them. And this game looks like it pulls on a lot of what made those Arkham games so good. And so I'm definitely excited to give this one a chance. I don't love Lego games. I played a lot of them when I was a kid, but as I've gotten older, I found myself kind of straying away from Lego games. They're good, don't get me wrong, but I do think that they kind of like diminish certain things or muddle some things down because of the fact that, like, being a Lego game, you have to be like kids friendly. That doesn't make them bad games. It just makes them games that are honestly not for me, and that's okay. But I do really love Batman. I do love the Arkham games, and it looks like it's pulling on a lot of those systems, features, and gameplay. So I'm tempted to give this one a chance when it comes out next year. Now I want to get into some of the games that I really didn't vibe with in this whole Gamescom showcase. And if I'm being honest, there was really only one that I just looked at and I had absolutely no interest in giving it a shot whatsoever, and that's Call of Duty Black Ops 7. This was by far the most disappointing reveal that I've seen in an incredibly long time. This just looked like a culmination of years and years of bullshit, to be honest with you. Shit that I don't want to see in Call of Duty, shit that no one else really wants to see in Call of Duty. And here it was, just this culmination of absolute garbage that was this reveal. I mean, the battle between Battlefield 6 and Call of Duty Black Ops 7 this year really gives heavy 2016 vibes when Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty Infinite Warfare were going head to head. I mean, Infinite Warfare still sold more copies than Battlefield 1, but Battlefield 1 was far and away one of the best Battlefield games of all time, and it is absolutely one of my favorite first-person shooters ever. This is the first year that I'm really not even interested in the campaign of a Call of Duty. At least if I don't mess with the multiplayer, I'll play the campaign and chances are I'll enjoy it. This year, that doesn't even look like it's the case. And to be honest, nothing about this game looks good. Movement from Black Ops 6 wasn't that good, and I ended up dropping the game weeks after making my review for it. In these past decade or so of Call of Duties, there have been exactly two games that I have played for probably more than 20 hours. And those are Call of Duty Black Ops 3 and the 2019 Call of Duty Modern Warfare reboot. Out of these 10 years from 2015 to 2025, those are the only two games that I felt made meaningful, worthwhile changes and genuinely shook up the formula in a way that I was excited to play with and excited to check out and that I actually enjoyed. Every single year, though, I've bought a Call of Duty with the hopes and promises of maybe being different this time. And don't get me wrong, that's absolutely on me. I should have known by now that this is what Call of Duty is and that it's never going to change. But I have it in my heart that I grew up on this franchise more than Battlefield, even though I love those games now more. I grew up on Call of Duty and I want to see it become as good as it was in those Black Ops 3, Black Ops 2 days. And year in, year out, I'm disappointed. Every single year I play the game less and less. I can't even tell you the difference between the multiplayer in the Modern Warfare 2 reboot and Modern Warfare 3 reboot. I just don't know. Cold War was fine, whatever. Vanguard sucked. And Black Ops 6 I thought was interesting, but it ended up not really being that much different than the rest of the Call of Duties that came before it. So with Black Ops 7, I know it's coming out on Game Pass, which is cool, so I get it for free. But I mean, at this point, I don't even know if I'm going to be making a review on Black Ops 7. it's just a game that I don't really care for. There's also plenty of other games coming around that October, November cycle, RPGs like Outer Worlds 2, things like that, that I would rather give my attention to. So I think Black Ops 7, maybe I'll get a chance to check it out, but as of now, it is absolutely on the back burner. I hope that Treyarch and Activision and frankly Xbox realize how badly Battlefield 6 is beating them right now. Battlefield 6 is made by EA, a game that came out with 2040, or a company that came out with Battlefield 2042, a game that is hated by many, that people lost faith in DICE for, and yet somehow with Battlefield 6, with its 2 betas, with everything about the marketing, this game is back on top and people are excited for it. Hell, people are so excited right now that Battlefield 2042 has more players on Steam than Call of Duty Black Ops 6 at this very given moment. And that's insane to me. And to be honest, that's good to see, because Call of Duty needs to figure their shit out. Call of Duty needs to realize that this is not what fans want. They don't want the game just to be focused on Warzone. They don't want this bullshit movement, frankly. And they don't want to see yearly releases. It's just a bad look. It's very tiresome when you get a Black Ops 6 game and then a Black Ops 7 game right after. And now they're not even taking breaks between franchises. It's just a whole thing of garbage, to be honest with you. And I am just not looking forward to it. But yeah, guys, that's going to do it for this video. I know we ended kind of on a somber note, but I want to reiterate that I am excited for a lot of games, a lot of DLCs that are coming out. And this back half of this year is going to be jam-packed with new games that I'm excited to play. We got the Legacy of the Forge KCD2 DLC coming up. We also have the Indiana Jones DLC coming up that I didn't mention here, but that's coming out in a couple weeks as well. I'm excited to check that out. We got Borderlands 4, Outer Worlds 2, Ghosts of Yotei, all these games lining up for a late 2025 release, and they all look honestly pretty good. So I'm excited to check them out. I'm excited for this year in gaming. This has been one of the best years in gaming in a very long time. But yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts on Gamescom 2025 down below. What are you most excited for? What are you not really looking forward to? What are you excited to see get reviewed? But yeah, guys, if you like this type of content, make sure to hit that like button and consider subscribing again to see more content like this. And yeah, guys, it's been CGG. I'm out.